Yo, 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 what's up, Nick?
Yo, how's it going? How are you feeling?
Ooh, I'm feeling better. I am pumped up with vitamins and ibuprofen. How are you?
Good. Luckily, I haven't caught on to the wave yet, so
I'm so glad to hear that.
to be healthy, you know?
Hey, everybody. As you can tell, I'm not in the office today. I've been home sick all week. So last week you saw me at the beginning of it, but how's it going? I see we have a few people in here watching. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. You guys like that countdown there? So let's just wait. We got a few people joining in still. I know that we're getting this up and going. How I want to ask you, how's our VA treating you so far, Nick? How's our VA Harold doing?
Oh, amazing. Yeah, he's super eager to take on more tasks and very adaptable. So it's been amazing.
Best. Yeah, guys, you should definitely check out VA Hub. We have the best VAs, and they are on top of everything. It's great. So Harold has been messaging me through Slack. So I've been homesick. Today's the best I've been feeling. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to be on here because the light's been messing with my head. But he's still comping properties and helping us. You know, he's texting, responding to people. So he's been a great help for us. So definitely recommend getting a VA if you guys are trying to automate your business and grow. But cool. Awesome. I have a question on here already. It says, free leads. What is this all about? So Jordan Cook, hi, welcome to our Friday free leads. So what we're going to do is just kind of answer some questions. My name is Caroline, and this is Nick. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction. Nick runs, Nick and I work together in the JV disposition department for Pace and Cody. So Nick has actually been like a great help for me. I started working with Nick in September, but I came out in November and really got to learn from the master himself. He's awesome. Hey, Facebook user, make sure, guys, if you're on Facebook, hit that StreamYard link so we can see your name. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you with all the well wishes. I'm definitely much better. Sleep was necessary. But what we're going to do here, Jordan, with free leads, we're going to go through, kind of answer questions, tell you what we do. So I mentioned we work for the JV and the disposition department. So we JV with you guys. If you have any deals you need to find a buyer for, if you need some help closing some deals. I know Nick is like one of the best closers. I don't know if you guys got to participate in our Cucumber Challenge and watch us, but we do a sales competition with our acquisitions team, and that we just spend all day calling seller leads, and you guys can see us lock them up. Nick actually got to lock up a deal at the very end of our day on our last Cucumber Challenge, and he was a really cute old lady, so he crushed it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was fun.
But at the end of this, what we're going to do is go live on BatchLeads.io and pull a list for you guys. So whoever asks the best questions today, Nick and I will decide. So make sure you have some solid questions for us to answer. And we can pull a list for you. I hope Terrell's going to be on here. I know Terrell was messaging me, and I know Nick sent him that list, but we gave out a list to Terrell Small last week in Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we'll pull a list for you from Batch Leads, and we'll send it to you guys, and you guys can skip trace it and contact that. 'Cause we just know how much value that can add. So really, we're just here to add value for you guys and talk about what we do during our day. So awesome. How's it going, guys? I'm so glad to see you guys are here. What I'd like to know, we're going to answer another question. But I want to know, where is everybody from? Where are you guys? Are you new to wholesaling? Are you new to creative finance? Or what area of the world are you in? As you can see, Nick has a little map behind him. That's Phoenix. But while we get going, I'm going to pull up this question here. This is one that we had last week. So, Nick, does anyone have a response to sellers who say they just want to get rid of a property and be done with it? This is asked by Alex Cowley.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that kind of response is not as common, right? What we're looking to do when we're talking to sellers is solve a problem. So that to me is immediately like, okay, there's some type of pain there. So I would just ask them questions like, okay, you want to get rid of it and be done with it. Is there any reason? Is this property causing you stress? How can I help? So just try to figure out how you can help, because there's some problem there that you're going to have to solve. And as investors, that's exactly what we do. We get paid to solve problems. So yeah, I would just respond to them saying, okay, yeah, absolutely. How can I help? So that would be my response with that.
Perfect. Love that. Yeah. The main thing to remember, guys, is we are problem solvers. And I talked about this a little bit last week. We're in business to do good business, and we're here to talk to motivated sellers. So we're not trying to go swindle somebody out of their house. We're really there to find a problem and provide the solution for them. So that's the main point of it. If they're motivated to sell, it's really where we're going to help them out. Awesome. So I see that we have some people in here from Phoenix. Welcome. Hey, guys, I'm going to drop it in the chat here in a little bit. I'll drop the link, but we are buying deals in Phoenix. So if you have a property that needs some love, we are actively, any deal, as long as the numbers make sense, we will make sure that you guys get your assignment fee and take care of you. And we can actually walk you through the process if you want to learn about that. Nick, would you like to touch on the deals that we're doing here while I throw that up on the chat?
Yeah, anything and everything. We have a pretty big buy box. Our goal right now is to have more than 10 plus active flips per month. Anybody that's in this market here in Phoenix, you guys know it's super hot, super competitive, but we are buyers. And on top of being buyers, we want to help you guys not only, sell the deal you have, but we also want to help you guys continuously do deals. So if you're here in our local market, let me know. And I'm more than happy to help you guys out with some data, make some calls for you guys, run comps, just anything. I want to help you guys continuously do deals, not just buy the one from you.
That's huge. And I just dropped this link in the chat for you guys. If you copy and paste that, you can actually submit your leads to Nick. That goes straight to Nick. He checks all of those. I know we were throwing up his phone number. Actually, let's see how many text messages we can get Nick today. I'll throw that back up there for you guys. But really, there we go. Terrell's on here. What's up, dude? I'm so glad to see that you're on here, man. I want to have some questions from you guys. So I'm going to throw up another question here for Nick in a second. Here we go. I got one for you right now. Oh, we got Keegan on here. Keegan's the bomb. He's actually a sub-2 student, and he was submitting some stuff to us. So is cold calling a cash buyer in order to sell a property a TCPA violation?
That's a great question. So, if you're calling a cash buyer or a seller, it's the same type of thing. You're always going to run, across people that are on the do not call list. Most data providers like Batch, for example, they have services where you can actually scrub them. So you have to really determine if you're willing to take that risk to call people that might be on the DNC list. So yeah, it could be if they're on that list, to answer your question.
Yeah, so make sure you guys scrub it and make sure that they are not on that do not call list. If you're putting it into your own hands in that scenario. Thanks, Terrell. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm feeling better, guys. That's for sure. So this question did not upload all the way, so I'll read part of it for you, Nick. Hey, guys, most of the sellers I'm working with are pretty old and do not want to take terms because of the fact that they're old. How do I present it in a way they would want to agree and won't be afraid from the years of the payments? And that was a question from Jonathan Oz. So I think we might have touched on this a little bit last week, but how do you deal with that, Nick?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of people run into that. I run into that countless times. And the way that you combat that is if the seller's elderly, I typically like to say, well, hey, if something were to happen to you, let's say you were abducted by aliens and I can no longer make my payments to you. Most people who are in the same type of position and they're concerned about something happening to them, they usually set up a trust. So what the trust does is it directs them. So if something happens to them, it directs them to have payments sent to somebody else. Their heirs, their beneficiary, somebody else that can receive their payments, which most times it's, like grandchildren, their actual children. So once you kind of paint that picture, is, hey, no matter what, you just tell us what to do with the payments if something happens to you, and we'll redirect them. That usually assures them. They're like, okay, that makes total sense. I can actually leave something for my grandchildren and my children if something were to happen to me, which would be like a monthly payment. So.
Awesome. Can you hear me, Nick? Am I coming through?
Yeah, you're coming through.
Okay. Perfect. So I was just having trouble uploading my little message there. So I'm going to try it one more time. Let's see if this will upload. I might not be able to put in any more questions. So here we go. Here's another one. Right here. Uh-oh. Might need. There we go. Perfect. Any advice on doing deals while overseas? They're in Korea. The market is Tennessee mostly. So we virtually wholesale. We do that in Florida and Georgia. But Nick, I'm going to let you answer that while I get through these other questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. Yeah, so if you're doing deals in a different market, I suggest squatting up with people that are in those markets. A great way to find people to squat up with is in the actual creative financing Facebook group. You can find people that are in those markets that can be boots on the ground for you. As far as any kind of barriers with the seller, again, we do virtual deals in Georgia and Florida. We've never had a seller get upset that we're not local. Most of the times they don't even ask if we're local. So I would suggest getting a Tennessee phone number if you don't already have one, and then just finding somebody to squat up with that's local in that market that can help you take pictures and walk through properties and stuff like that. But it's absolutely possible.
Definitely. And I mean, contact them and do business. Again, it goes back to the motivation. So if they're a motivated seller, it doesn't matter that you're in Korea or anything like that. As long as you can solve that problem, they're going to want to work with you, and they're going to be super grateful that you can solve those problems. But yeah, if you guys need help closing those deals, make sure you click on that Shoreby link and we will help you out for sure. I'm glad that you're on here too, Antonio. Great question, man. So here's another question here, Nick. Caleb asked this while it throws up there. I just had great Wi-Fi. Let me see if it will work. There we go.
Yeah, it's showing up on my end now.
There we go. Perfect. Any tips for follow-up in terms of how often or more techniques to get your warm leads closer to the finish line?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what you'll notice, and if you're doing it effectively, is that you'll basically take a large list of leads. We call them opportunities, right? Because it's always an opportunity to convert a seller. You have to take those leads and you have to distribute them amongst different types of buckets, right? Some of them might be a long-term follow-up. Hey, hey, seller isn't ready to sell right now. Check back in with them in 90 days is what, like, let's say they're asking for a 90-day follow-up. You always want to cut that time in half. So I typically ask, hey, you're not ready right now. When is the best time for me to follow up and check to see if you are ready? And if they say a month, then I cut that down to half, 2 weeks, I'll follow up with them. I would say if you categorize your leads correctly, like warm, cold, hot, long-term follow-up, like you just categorize those leads, I would touch most of them, month over month, but some of them, they might need long-term follow-up. So there's no exact formula, but we just always cut the time in half. And I would say if it's somebody that has motivation, I would call them every other day, and then turn that into every other week, and then turn that into once a month. And then you just adjust based on the responses from that phone call. So if you talk to them, a couple months from now and they sound like they're more motivated, well, guess what? You were following them every other week or every month, and now you got to turn that down to every other day or multiple times a week, because follow-up is really the best way or the only way to get deals efficiently. So yeah, just categorize your leads, cut the time in half, and then just always touch base with them, even if it's with just a text.
Kelly, I need a soundboard on here. I need to be able to do an air horn when Nick drops fire like that. That's some good stuff there, Nick. Great information. Guys, do you think this is valuable? Do you think these I know some of you were here last week. I know Terrell was on here. But if this is a valuable, YouTube, please, tell somebody you think this can help. Make sure that you're reaching out to people that are trying to get started or have questions like this so they can get in here on this live and they can ask questions and we can answer this. So awesome. Thank you, Robin. Yeah, for sure. We're here to help out however we can. That's the whole point of this. But what I wanted to point out as well, what Nick just said, is one of the first deals I did with with our team here. I followed up with a lead for about 2 weeks. I would call her in the morning and I'd call her in the evening, and it was just being persistent. Stay on top of it and be as persistent as you can. Consistency is huge for this. You need to take consistent, imperfect action. So as long as you're coming here onto this YouTube channel and you're learning from us, excuse me, you're learning from us, you're out here and you're taking the steps, you're learning from this, and you can get better from this. So continue to call your sellers, ask these questions here. I mean, we are always in the creative financing with Pace Morby Facebook page. You can get questions answered pretty quickly on there, but these Fridays are huge. So we can answer everything. But I saw Kelly had a great question up here. She just said, how do I find someone to squad up with? And I think it's going to pull up here in a second. So Nick, how would you recommend finding somebody to squad up with?
Yeah, I mean, it's all within the Facebook community, creative financing with Pace Morby. For those of you who are coming from YouTube, I would definitely join that Facebook group. There's tons of people in there who are in different markets that are wanting to squat up. So that's one of the things that we've really coined in our community is just squatting up with people. For example, the person who's doing deals in Tennessee that lives in Korea, great example for you to squat up with people that are in that market, because your chance of succeeding squatting up with somebody it's so much higher just going that route rather than trying to do everything on your own, right? We always talk about rocket fuel, having somebody that's an integrator, somebody that's a visionary, just partner up with people, do deals, and definitely go to the Facebook community and post out there, put yourself out there, and you'll find people that are in those markets wanting to squat up.
Yeah, we have over 20. Is that right, Kelly? We have 20,000 people in our creative financing with Pace Morby. So you guys can pretty much get an answer almost instantaneously. If you're not on that page, you should definitely check it out. I have a great question here from Terrell Small. So, dude, we already have a regular. I love you, Terrell. His question is, what is in your opinion the best way of keeping track of leads for a beginner? There are so many opinions and options out there. CRM, note cards, LOL. So, I mean, I know what it's been like for me. I love that we have Podio, Nick. I mean, what would you recommend?
Yeah, Podio all day long. Podio is really nice because you can configure it and it really does adapt to your business. So let's say you're down the road, you're like, hey, I'm at the point where I'm doing 5 to 10 deals a month. It's time to scale. You can really automate Podio and you can have it do all kinds of things. A lot of people, they'll start off with like an Excel spreadsheet, which is fine. But with Podio, most people don't understand how cheap it really is. It's only $9 a month to get set up with Podio. And you really only need a couple of apps. So the one app I would have is maybe like an opportunities app. The second app is like a leads app for people who are more motivated. You can just really narrow down your huge list of leads to maybe, a really, really narrow down list of people to constantly follow up with. And then you want to have another app for like cash buyers. Because as you're building up your pipeline and your business, building relationships, you can really adapt and add more apps to it. But yeah, Podio all the way.
Definitely, yeah. And like Nick mentioning before, make sure that you label those sellers so you can see where they are in your follow-up campaign. Like this one is a tired landlord, so you kind of know how to go into that conversation a little bit differently, or where you should hammer home on some of the problems that you can solve for them. But yeah, I would say before, when I was on my own wholesaling, I was not really organized, and that has been one of my favorite things of joining Pace and Cody's team is that Podio is already built out. So I would recommend actually Terrell. I would try and squat up with somebody who is probably has a system together and see if you guys can work together and maybe learn from them. Just reach out and see who already has a system in place and is organized or is looking for extra help. I know there's sub-2 students that need people to call for them. Look, you got Caleb says that he's a sub-2 student, so you can reach out to him. There's all kinds of people you can reach out to, but squatting up and splitting the cost of things is going to help you survive in this a lot longer than having, pulling these lists, skip tracing the list, paying for your phone number, paying for a CRM. If you can split that with somebody, that would be ideal. But that's what I would recommend as well. So squatting up and staying organized. I know we covered this last week, but this is something that's huge, I believe. So you need to think of the 10, 80, 10 rule. So 10% of the leads you talk to are ready to close the deal on the first phone call. They are like, yes, I'm motivated. I want to sell. 80% of leads you talk to need 13 or more touches. And this is where it pays off to be organized and have a system in place. If you have a drip campaign and when you need to keep talking to them, it's going to help you like big time. That one person I was talking about, I had to follow up with her for 2 weeks before she'd even talk to me on the phone. And I think we had about 15, 20 conversations before it closed. I actually talked to her on Christmas now still. So make sure that you stay consistent. Most people fall off after the third phone conversation, and that's why our team does so well and closes so many deals. We stay through to the 13 contacts. The other 10% that I wanted to mention is they're just dead in the water. They're not motivated. So they're tire kickers. And they're not interested in selling. Awesome. I don't know what did Ramon just put on here? Do you see this, Nick? No idea. There's great question, Terrell. Cool. I have a great question from Pancho. So hi, Pancho. Welcome. I saw you said this is your first time on our Free Leads Friday. The question he has, from your experience, What markets are destined to scale high and what markets are dwindling? And what's the best angle to approach in a market that is new to you? Nick, I'll let you start that.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the markets that we go into, we typically just go into markets based on what we see other people. So we always talk about squatting up, collaborating with people over competition. So we just really go to other people within our network and see some commonalities between, other people that are going in a specific market. Main reason we went into Florida, we actually started off in Orlando because we had a lot of people within our network that were focusing on that market. Brand new, getting into that market. We had people that were doing very successful things, very big things in that market. So for us, it's really just talking to the people that are in that market, seeing what they think, what type of barriers they have going into that market. It's not super complex in terms of how we determine a market. Of course, we do market research, stuff like that, in terms of looking at the median home price and what type of cash buyers are available. But I would just talk to other people, right? And you can really do that just going to the Creative Financing Facebook group. We have 20,000 people in that group. You can go in and ask people, hey, what markets are you working on? And you'll find commonalities. And then once you kind of narrow it down to a certain amount of markets, just start doing some research, seeing what median home prices are, what the hottest areas are, and you'll kind of narrow it down from there.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of that, Pancho, I'm from a small town in Indiana. I started wholesaling in my hometown. It's just kind of, it all just varies on what you do. You need to definitely, find that property. And then, like I said, you can reach out, help you find a buyer. But, as soon as you get that property, you need to focus on finding a cash buyer. Make sure your numbers make sense. One of the biggest things that we've dealt with is sometimes deals just aren't deals. And this is something that I struggled with as a new wholesaler. I had commission breath. I kept seeing everybody going out here and I have this $10,000 check. I have this $30,000 check. And I'm like, I'm going to make this a deal. I'm going to make this a deal. And it doesn't work that way. You need to talk. You need to have quality conversations with motivated sellers and so make sure that they really do want to sell their house and make sure that the numbers make sense. So you need to get your ARV, which is your after repair value. You need to deduct the rehab, and figuring out how to find a rehab your market is different. Every market's going to be different. And that's why you need to have conversations with your cash buyers, your fix and flippers, to figure out how much it will cost to do those rehabs. And then you need to add in your investor's profit and then your wholesale profit, your assignment fee. So make sure that there's enough spread for your investor to make money on it, so they're enticed to buy that property and fix it up themselves. And so you can actually, get a paycheck at the end of that. So great question, Pancho. Guys, keep bringing these questions. And like I said, whoever asked the best questions, we're going to pull a list live for you guys off of BatchLeads and send that to you after this. And you can see Terrell's on here. Terrell got that list and he's already calling them. So here's another good question here from Antonio. What is the best niche list to target for sub 2 deals? Been going after expired listings, but so far, no luck. What would you recommend, Nick?
Yeah, that's a great question. So expired listings don't necessarily mean sub 2. And I say that because an expired listing could be somebody that has their house free and clear. They're just asking too much money. So you can add other filters in there, like expired listings, low equity. That'd be really, really niche. That'd be a great list. But for us, I would say just low equity would be good. Pre-foreclosures can be good too. The only thing is the arrears sometimes skyrocket that make it harder to do a deal. So yeah, for us, we just really go for low equity deals in certain markets. And what you'll notice too is that if you pull a blanket list, for example, for us, we pull blanket list of just anything in Maricopa County, anything where we're looking at in Florida and Georgia. And you'll find as you talk to more and more people that you'll find people that have low equity, or even sub 2s where it's not a low equity situation, but sub 2 is really the best situation for them. So yeah, low equity is a great list to go after.
I love it. I was getting educated on what this sticker is. So there's a super thumbs up sticker. Dude, Ramon's awesome. Ramon is on the daily dial all the time. Ramon is a sub 2 student. So guys, spot up with Ramon. He is super knowledgeable. Oh, also I see Darren's on here. Darren is an integrator. He can help everybody. So great. Okay, let's get into this next question here. There's a question about students. I'll pull that one up next. Patrick Brown asked this. How many deals were you doing a month before you jumped on Pace's team? Okay, so this is for me. I really wasn't doing a lot of deals. I'd say I was doing maybe 1 to 2 deals a month. I actually didn't get started in real estate until June of 2020, so I'm still really new to it. It definitely helps being on this team. I think squatting up is huge because being on Pace and Cody's team, we have VAs that actually call our lists, and then we have different systems that we're working. I was actually working, calling on the list from students. We have a program in the Sub-2 mentorship called the No Excuses program that Pace put in place. So there was no excuse to not get your first deal. So you can submit it there, and then Pace's team would lock it up and close it. And Nick actually is the one who is overseeing all of the Florida deals, and Nick has helped me closing deals and taught me how to comp and everything like that. But Nick, how many deals were you closing before you joined Pace's team? Were you doing anything on your own?
Yeah. I started off doing it on my own. Actually worked with another wholesaler here in town. So a lot of it was just in terms of like getting contracts, tons and tons of contracts. I was anywhere between 5 and 15 per month. But yeah, I mean, it's just a learning curve, right? Being with the right team is so important because you'll notice that each company has a different way of doing deals. There's no right or wrong way to do deals. The only thing is who preaches consistency, who puts the right systems in place. And being with a team like Pace, you really learn all that.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, being in Pace and Cody's world is really cool. And guys, I just dropped a link in here. If you click on that StreamYard link, you guys can jump in here. So Ramon, I put that on there. Yep. Ramon, jump in so we can get you up here on stage with us. We'll throw you on the screen and we can answer questions. So click on that link and we'll invite you guys on stage. But yeah, the biggest thing is you guys see Pace, you've seen his YouTube. I mean, he is just honestly all knowing. He's just a great guy to be around. And it's awesome to be surrounded by like-minded people. Like, guys, Nick is a freaking, if you guys have not heard Nick on the phone with sellers, you're honestly missing out. He is great on the phone. Nick is like one of the best role models, I think. I love working with Nick and being surrounded with him. So find people that have the same mindset as you. I want to, surround yourself with 5 successful people so you can be the 6th successful person. But there was a great thing. I think Elon Musk went on Clubhouse the other day and somebody said, "Hey, how do you stay motivated as an entrepreneur?" And it's like, if you need to be if you need to find motivation as an entrepreneur, you're not an entrepreneur. So you got to find that drive, guys, and you got to find your reason why and put it up and see that every day, because there's going to be tough days. Like, I've been feeling awful all week, and it's been hard for me to not jump in and jump onto comps, but I get a massive headache. So we have the right team in place. We have the help from our VAs from VA Hub that jump in and help. Nick's been picking up some of the slack while I've been sick. But know your reason why when you get into it, and it's so easy. And just surround yourself by like-minded people. That's all I can really say. Cool. Hey, Facebook user, guys, make sure you're clicking on that StreamYard link so we can see your name when you're asking questions. But I'll throw this one up here. We just won't know your name. Should you have a large list of cash buyers or a handful that are solid? I would say definitely a handful that are solid buyers that will buy your deals, because you can have some people that say that they're cash buyers when they're really not. They might try and daisy chain your deal. What would you recommend, Nick? I mean, having a large group is helpful, but you want to make sure that they're vetted and they actually are cash buyers and will take your properties.
Yeah, I mean, you try to think what you're looking to do and what you're looking to accomplish. In terms of your Rolodex of cash buyers, you want to keep it as small as possible, because you are building long-term relationships with these people. You don't want to have 100, decent relationships with cash buyers. I'd rather have 5 solid relationships with cash buyers. Because I know if I send them a deal, they're going to respond immediately. They're going to let me know whether or not they want to buy it. And it's just a long-term relationship thing. So most of our deals between multiple markets that we're in probably sell within, to the same 50 buyers or so. So we don't have a huge list by all means in terms of who gets our deals first. So yeah, definitely a solid small list.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. You want to have those relationships, and you want those cash buyers to be your best friends. That's something that we've learned from Pace. He golfs with his cash buyers, our cash buyers, and he really has those relationships built. Great question here by Caleb. Everyone keeps saying to door knock pre-foreclosures, but on Batch, it says that there are only 14 pre-foreclosures in my market of 400,000 people. Are pre-foreclosures worth going after right now? So I'll get into this and I'll let Nick answer it. First thing, guys, I would just know everybody has access to this information. So everybody can pull this list and see that these people are in pre-foreclosure. So just go into this knowing that somebody else has already spoken to this lead. But I would recommend, door knocking. I've door knocked myself. I was door knocking when I lived in Florida, and you're putting yourself in front of that seller, but you got to make sure there is distress. If they are in pre-foreclosure, they're in distress. So they haven't been able to pay their mortgage. There's probably some other things that have happened. They're not able to pay. They still have other bills. You got to pay for gas in your car, maintenance on your car, groceries, internet, electricity, and things. So they might be motivated to sell right now. But yeah, I would recommend going after pre-foreclosures. It's still a person in distress. What would you say here, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely wouldn't shy away from pre-foreclosures. I would hit anything and everything, because if you're focusing on only one list, like let's say you're door knocking, that's a different story. That's a great list to actually go out and knock because there's significant motivation. Of course, there's challenges with foreclosures being pushed off. So that would be the only thing. But I would suggest maybe looking, if you have a really small market, I would suggest maybe looking into other markets. You don't always have to just say local, right? You can work and squad up with people that are in other markets, because if you're in a bigger market, you have more chances of succeeding just because you're touching more people. So that would be my suggestion, is maybe look into branching out, doing some virtual stuff. But foreclosures are always worth it.
Awesome. And then I see we do have Janine, I think. Let's see if we can get her on here. Janine, can you hear us? Let's see. They have chose to mute themselves. Janine, I'm going to give you another second here to see if you can get on.
Hey, Carolyn.
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
This is kind of new to me. Somehow it put me in the back.
Oh, no problem. Am I saying your name right? Is it Janine?
No, it's actually Jean or Jeannie.
Jeannie, there you go. See, this is why I like to correct it. I'm sorry about that. Well, what's going on, Jeannie?
I'm just loving this. This is the first time I've been on the Friday. Thanks. So I love the questions, and I love you guys answering them, everything. I didn't necessarily have a specific question. Like I said, it kind of rerouted me when I went into the StreamYard or whatever.
No problem.
Are you guys using any more of like the social media or any of those things other than like the batch leads and stuff like that?
So you mean, are we getting leads from our social media accounts? Is that what you're asking?
Yes. Are you just tagging up with like wholesalers and stuff like that?
Definitely, we are partnering with wholesalers. That's the whole part of our JV department. We try to work with wholesalers. But I post mainly on my Instagram and my Facebook now. I've actually found a lot of peace not seeing what everybody else is doing, and I just talk about real estate, so I enjoy it now. I do have people reach out to me from my Instagram and my Facebook page, but I definitely recommend using that as a platform so your friends and family can see that. And if you're saying, hey, I'm buying houses for cash, maybe your best friend Nick isn't buying a house or selling a house, but maybe Nick's aunt needs to sell her house immediately. So Nick will see, oh my gosh, this Jeannie lady keeps talking about she'll buy any house in any condition. And my Aunt Caroline is, a hoarder. We don't even know how to begin helping her get rid of this house. So you're probably going to be on the top of Nick's mind when you constantly, if you're posting about it and you're telling people what you do. What would you say, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you put out into the universe kind of comes back to you. So if you're putting out into the universe that you're doing real estate, a lot of people are going to be intrigued by that. The more that you post that you're doing a specific thing, hey, I'm doing real estate, hey, I'm walking a house, hey, I'm talking to a seller, just post that, put it out into the universe, and people will just constantly think of you, right? Whether they're in real estate or not. You might have a friend that came across your Instagram post and they're like, hey, I actually know somebody who does real estate. Let me see if I can help somebody else by bringing them to you. I would definitely always go all in social media and just show people what you're doing.
Genie in a bottle. Great question. I love it.
You got it. You got it, Kelly. I'm struggling to put my Facebook page and stuff, and I'm still learning the Instagram. And I almost made it instead of JEANNE. I almost did Jeannie.
Jeannie in a bottle. I recommend it. Do that as your Instagram page. That's awesome. Well, hey, thank you for coming up here and asking that question. And throw some more questions in the chat. I'd love to help you pull a list for your area. Remember, guys, we're going to pull a list here in about 25 minutes.
Okay.
We'll pull a list. But thank you, Jeannie. I'm going to hop into the next question here. All right, great, good stuff. I saw Yessie was on there for a second, but she's bounced out. So let's get to another question. What would you recommend if you're looking for a potential personal residence? Like, what list would be best? Nick, I know that you're going to be buying a house this year. You're looking for yourself. I think you're going to try and buy a subject to house. Tell us about your house hunting experience and what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I would go after anything that has either low equity if you're looking for a subject to. So I'm personally looking for low equity transaction or properties that may have been expired listings, but mainly things with just not a lot of equity where subject to is really the best solution. Also, like free and clear properties, you have an equal or better chance of getting a good deal if you can structure it on seller finance with extremely low interest rates. You know, we came across a deal a couple months back. It was a full 30-year amortization, and it was 0% interest, and it was a good monthly payment. So that would be ideal looking for a type of property, at least in my personal, opinion. But yeah, low equity, no equity, free and clear. I would definitely go after those types of properties.
Great. Good answer. And then, I'm just thinking about this, Nick, we were talking about wholesaling. I want to know, I know we have quite a few people watching right now, guys. How many of you have a wholesaling contract? Do you guys need a wholesale contract? Would that be beneficial if we drop a wholesale contract in here for you guys to use, the ones that we use? Would that help you guys out? Can I see some yeses or nos in the chat? Should we drop our wholesale contract that we use?
I actually get that question a lot. Hey, what contract do you guys use? Hey, what do I say? Because I see a lot of people handing out contracts, but ours is really what we actually use in our business. In multiple different markets, it's very universal. So yeah, that's a question I get a lot.
Great. Yeah, actually, this is a contract that I'll throw in here for you guys that Pace and Cody have paid their lawyers for. So it is a great contract to use. I'll throw it up here in a second for you guys. But what I want to get into, yes, please. Awesome. I'll throw that in for you guys. So what I'm going to throw up right now would be from Darren. Have you been focusing on our social media marketing this week while our VA is at, he has been focusing on our social media marketing this week while his VA is out with COVID. Amazing possibilities once you have it going. Exactly, guys. That's the night. Like that's what I said. I've been super sick, and you guys can see I'm trying to mute myself so you don't hear me dying. But our VA has been hammering away. Sadly, Darren's VA is sick right now with COVID. But our VA, we have systems in place. So when I'm sick and I miss some time, we have somebody that can fill in and cover that spot. So it's nice having those systems organized. It's huge. Here we go. I got to throw this up for Kelly right here. Guys, Kelly is looking for a house in the Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie area in Florida. So hit her up on Instagram, and she will definitely make sure that you guys get taken care of. Okay. Great question here, Suhib. I don't want to mess your name up there. I apologize if I did. Hassan. Do you guys attach an addendum to the purchase contract when doing terms? Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, so we use a regular purchase contract, and then we have like an addendum that has disclosures if we're doing a subject to or seller finance. So it's just something that we put on top of our regular purchase agreement, which is the one that actually Caroline posted in there. So yeah, subject to addendum, seller finance addendum, we'll add that on there too.
Yeah, actually, I think that's Kelly jumping in and helping me. I was literally about to put it in there. So thank you, Kelly. Guys, make sure you are copying, pasting this. And then I'd actually add it as a bookmark at the top of your computer so you constantly have that. But this is before I actually started working with Pace. He gave me this contract as well. So this is what I've used on a few wholesale deals before I became part of the team. And then I've heard it from us. This is actually what the team uses. Of course, Pancho. Yeah, man, we'll throw these links in here for you guys. Yeah, welcome, Todd. Yeah, I'm feeling better. So good. We got some people from Dallas, Fort Worth in here. Do you guys, here's a great question. AH asked this. Do you guys target vacant land? Seems like there is not too many people going after it. And I know that Nick actually just reached out to some of our buyers a little bit ago about some vacant land that we have in Arizona. So why don't you tell people about what we do with vacant land, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, that's great. We don't necessarily target vacant land. I know here in Arizona we have in the past, but it's not something that we focus on. But we've made some pretty good money on some deals that were just vacant land, right? Residential, commercial vacant land. if you have the right buyer pool in place that actually can, pick up those deals, you can make really good money on them. And I agree, not too many people are focusing on it, but it depends what market you're in. Like in Arizona, like anything, any land, any property, most deals sell if it's within Maricopa County. Even if it's not in Maricopa County, land is very desirable here. So yeah, it really depends on what market you're in.
Yeah. Great question. Here's another good one here from, I'm going to say Hassan because I can say it correctly. What's your guys' follow-up process? How many times do you hit a list and how do you first contact them?
Great question. So when we actually, going back to generating the lead, we do cold calling, we do texting, nothing super unique compared to what everybody else is doing. We do the same thing. Once the lead is generated, it's put into our Podio. Then we have somebody on our team call the lead and just vet them a little bit more. And that goes into our opportunity section where it's a new opportunity. We call them, vet them, and we determine what bucket they go in. So we have a nurturing bucket that's just long-term follow-up. We have specific VAs assigned to that list. And then we have a lead manager section where the actual decent leads, decent follow-ups, they go into a separate bucket where we have our lead managers follow up. So yeah, it's super aggressive follow-up. I think I touched on it earlier where we follow up with them, just depending on what bucket they go into. So for example, if somebody's not interested in selling, they're not ready to sell, I always ask them, well, hey, when's the best time to follow up with you? If they say in a month, you should call them in 2 weeks. So just always cut the time in half, be present, be on top of the lead, and be top of mind.
Exactly. So I would say, so how many times do you think we hit a list then, Nick? 2 to 3 times? Take a break and come back?
Yeah, I would say we hit a list as many times as we can, right? So we're still recycling data. That's the thing, is somebody's new list is somebody else's old list. So we'll pull data and somebody else might've been hitting that list for 6 months. So I would say the correct answer to that is hit the list until you have most of your leads extracted, and until people just tell you to stop calling. So once they tell you to stop calling, take them off the list, and everybody else is just free game. So yeah, as many times as you can.
Perfect. And then Antonio's got a great question here. And he says, so I closed 3 wholesale deals last year, small spreads, but haven't been able to keep the flow going. What are some good ways to keep your operation going to scale? What would you say, Nick? I mean, first of all, obviously consistency. So what I'd like to ask you, Antonio, is how consistent are you being right now? Are you making sure that you're setting time every day to call your list? Are you following up with your leads? So if you cold call on Monday, are you following up with your other leads on Tuesday? How consistent are you being? But Nick, what would you say?
Yeah. So to kind of lead into my answer, I would suggest you read the book called Who Not How, because you're thinking of it as a how do I keep my flow going? How do I keep my business going? How do I become consistent? When the answer is maybe you just need a who. Maybe you need a virtual assistant. Maybe you need somebody to work on your team. Maybe you need a partner. Maybe you need to squat up. So think about how you can integrate somebody else into your business and how you can have them do your how. So that would be the way that I would look at it. Yes, VA Hub, I would look into them. I would have somebody else on your team because people are more consistent than you really think. You need somebody that's consistent. You need somebody that's constantly just doing the things that needs to be done in order to get deals. So yeah, I would definitely consider finding a who.
Exactly. Great answer, Nick. And I don't know if you guys follow Pace on Instagram. If you're not following Pace on Instagram, you're definitely missing out. So you, let's see, I'll throw our Instagram handles on here for you guys later so you can see Nick and what he does. But Nick and Cody, or Pace and Cody, were just talking about that book last week, I think. So you can see, and Nick, I know Nick has shared his library with me. Nick is an avid reader. So constantly, if you guys are the smartest person in the room, you need to find a new room. Constantly try and level up. Be around smart people. Be around people where you want to be. I would love to be on the same level as Nick, Cody, and Pace. Like, this is my goal. I want to be just like them. I want to be consistently getting deals and, having virtual assistants that are helping me so I can get involved in space like this where we can come on YouTube and help you guys out. Great question here by Harvey, and I wanted to pull this up, especially because of our role in the JV and Dispo department. Harvey Martinez said, I'm in a virtual market and I come across sellers that are open to terms. What should I do? I would hate to lock it up and even discuss terms due to a fear of not being able to find an end buyer. Harvey, I don't know if you saw the link in here for the Shoreby to send deals to us, but we have buyers. We have people. We know how to sell creative deals. We are the creative financing team. So if you lock up a deal or if you need help, again, make sure you guys are, I don't know if that phone number is on there. If you guys can see it in the chat, I'll pull it back up here. You guys can text Nick. Nick, have you gotten any text messages since this has started? No, that's a no.
I've had no text.
Yeah, not enough. I got to throw his phone number back in here for you guys. Shoot Nick a text message right now, guys, so Nick can have your information. If you guys need help with stuff, you can message Nick here. I'm also going to throw in that Shoreby link again for you so you guys can see that. But yeah, lock up those deals in your virtual market, and we can help you find a buyer. We know how to market these to sellers or to buyers. We know how to find, homestead buyers. We have connections all over the country, and we can help you lock up and, sell that deal. So send them our way and we will definitely help you guys. So right now, guys, if you guys have not yet, text Nick right now. It's 480-819-9295. We should see his phone blowing up here. He's probably going to be telling me to stop sharing his phone number, but you guys have direct access to Nick. You can text him right there. That's his cell phone. And then if you do have deals, there's another question here. I'm going to throw up this link for you guys again. It's our Shoreby link. When you guys have a deal, straight immediately just throw it in here and it'll go into our Podio system so we can keep track of everything. And you can get straight to Nick. So I just put that in the chat again. So his phone number one more time is 480-819-9295. And then here is the link. I'm going to throw it up here again for you guys. So it's shore.by. And then it's /DMPC. So you can submit your leads to us and we will help you guys find buyers for that. Of course. Yeah. Great questions, guys.
I think maybe what we should do is we do have an assignment contract that we can hand out too. Maybe if I get 20 text messages, I think maybe we should give that out to people too.
All right. Since Nick is such a giver today, we'll throw that out there for you guys as well. Let's do that. See what I mean? I just like hanging out with Nick because he's so nice. He wants to give more and more. There it is. It's already on there. Kelly's working behind the scenes for us. So here's his other link right here. Same thing. So www.pacemorby.com/assignment contract. Make sure you guys are hitting that. So we gave out what? We've already given out a wholesale a contract to lock up deals and then an assignment contract. And now we're about to give out a free list. Holy cow. Who's asking what this was at the beginning of our YouTube? Great content. Is this helpful, guys? Do you guys think this is a good YouTube? Should we keep doing these every Friday? Should we do these even when Caroline has the Rona? All right. Okay. I'll come alive for you guys for that. Okay. One more question. We have another question from Hassan because I'm ruining the first name. And guys, I'll throw this in here. We'll take one more person live on here. One more question. Also, it's pronounced Suhab. Okay. Suhaib. Haha. But what must the seller do form-wise when doing a sub-2 deal? I feel like the back end of the agreement is the trickiest. What would you say, Nick?
What must the seller do form-wise when doing a sub-2 deal? Yeah, I mean, all they have to do is just read through it, right? So if you understand the agreement that we use, the back end of the agreement, yes, the addendum, it's a lengthy contract because there's tons of disclosures in there. So you have to become really efficient at understanding the agreement so that you can walk them through it, right? When we're talking to sellers, we always walk them through our agreement. Hey, I'm going to call you in 5 minutes once I send the contract out. I'm just going to be a fly on the wall as you read through it. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer it. So if you understand the agreement and what's all in it, then you can explain it to your seller efficiently. And that way it's not so much of a big deal.
Great answer. Thank you. Let's see. So here we go. Here's another question from Pancho. Do you get a better conversion rate from cold calling leads or SMS, so texting? What would you say, Nick? I've seen the best from cold calling.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it's always going to fluctuate, right? We'll have months where we do really well in cold calling. We'll have months where we do really well in SMS. I would say SMS has been the best lead generating marketing tactic so far, just because everybody's always on their phone. If somebody's at work and they get a text asking if they're interested in selling their house, they're more receptive to responding to it rather than picking up a phone and answering your call. So I would say both, right? If you can do both, do them both. But SMS for us is converting the best right now.
There you go. So SMS working the best for us. So if you guys are at work or if you have a 9 to 5 and you can't cold call everybody, shoot us some text messages under your desk when your boss can't see it or whatever. Don't get fired, but do what you need to keep that grind going and keep that funnel coming along. And then Poncho covered this. I know I asked that question earlier, Nick, but VAs have definitely helped our company's frontline. So guys, if you have not been on vahub.com, it's right here. This is the website. You can, fill out and get a consultation going. But I saw somebody asking how many leads they should pull or what their list should be. I think a VA Hub VA can go through a list of 2,500 leads in a week. So they hammer away. So if you start out with one VA from VA Hub, they're going to go through that list and you should be getting, at least one lead a day. So just make sure you're, staying on top of it and pulling enough leads. If you guys have a 9 to 5 and you can't keep up and contact your sellers, get a VA that can call that for you. But I love our VA. Nick and I share Harold, and he is the bomb, and it's just kind of a set it and forget it. So Nick is now freed up because we have Harold doing tasks for him, so we can come onto these live YouTubes and help you guys out. Sweet. Okay, cool.
Do you have the BatchLeads link?
Do I have the BatchLeads link? I can throw it up here. Yeah. There it is. Perfect.
That's what we use to text, guys. So if you guys are not using BatchLeads, you guys can pull your data from there. You can skip trace your data from there, and you can also send SMSs through there.
Yeah, and make sure you use that code PACE. That'll, I think at one point it was giving you a discount on stuff. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure you can get a discount on things. There you go. And yeah, we're going to pull 1,000 free records for you guys here in a second. So, all right, I had that link up there. I was going to throw one more person up here. I see we have Jeannie in a bottle is willing to come back up. I'll give everybody one more chance. One person to come up here and ask one question live with Nick and myself. Yep. Click on that link, come to StreamYard, and we'll pull you up here. We're going to take this last question from Harvey before we pull a list. Nick, why don't you think about who's had the best questions, and we'll pull a list for them. But here it is. If you guys were in acquisitions today, how many conversations with sellers are you shooting for on a daily basis? Actually, this is a great question, Harvey, and we've covered this with our team. So one person's thought, or there's a few different type of closers that say, however many conversations you're having with sellers is how many deals you'll close in a year. So I think we have on the sales competition? I think our best guy on our sales team had about 35 contacts in that day, and he made almost like 300 calls. I think it was Bryce. But what would you say, Nick?
If you were in acquisitions today, how many conversations with sellers? Yeah, I would shoot for 50 conversations, right? So everybody always looks at, I made 300, 400 dials, which is a lot, right? Most people make closer to 100 a day. So if you think about it, you're making 100 calls a day, 100 dials per day. Not everybody's answering. So the average for that is maybe you have 10 conversations after every 50 dials. So I would shoot for maybe 50 conversations per day. If you're doing this thing for maybe 3-4 hours a day, I would always shoot for 50 conversations for sure.
50 conversations. There you go. All right. Well, I'm not seeing anybody trying to come up live here with us, so I guess we can pull our list right now. So I will pull up BatchLeads and show you guys how we pull lists. Nick, while I do this, why don't you think of who's asked the best questions, and we'll ask them. Actually, we'll pull them up on the stage so we can.
There's so many good questions here.
I know it's hard to choose. I'm really liking what Harvey's been asking.
I think Harvey and Suheeb.
Yeah, I know. They're both great. All right. Let's see. Can we get one of you guys to come up here live? So click on Harvey. Whoever joins us live, we will pull your list. How about that? If you come up on StreamYard with us, we'll pull your list. So it's going to be between Suheeb and Harvey Martinez, whichever one of you gets up here and tells us where you're at. I would love to pull a list for you guys. Poncho, I don't think they're... Yeah, guys, if you get onto the creative financing with Pace Morby, you guys can find people to JV with, but click on that Shoreby link that I put on there, and we will JV with you and help you guys find a buyer. All right. Free group. There we go. Harvey was the first one. Sweet. What's up, Harvey? How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Good. So are you wholesaling right now?
Yeah, I'm still trying to get my first deal.
Perfect. Awesome. Love that. Love the grind. So what area are you looking to get a list pulled in today?
Well, I'm here in Phoenix. I know how competitive it is, so I'd say Glendale, Peoria, anything that you guys would recommend.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to throw up my screen here. So Nick, where should we pull a list for him? What do you think? He's in Phoenix.
That's the key question.
I'm torn between Mesa or Apache Junction and just Phoenix, because Phoenix is obviously a big market, tons and tons of people there. So I would say Phoenix is always a good go-to.
Phoenix, all right. So we'll pull up Phoenix here. Harvey, do you use BatchLeads? Have you used it before?
I have BatchLeads.
Oh, great. Awesome. So what kind of list should we pull for him today, Nick? What do you think?
You're mainly going after wholesale, right? Yes. Of course. I mean, base sub 2 is anything that comes creative, but obviously mainly targeting wholesale.
Okay. Let's see. I would do absentee owner.
Absentee owner. Okay. Should we click on ownership info?
Do 10 years or more.
Okay. 10 or more. Every type of owner. That way it will be pretty wide. Equity. What do you think?
I would do 30% equity.
30%. Okay. Anything else?
Click on ownership info.
Okay.
If I mute you guys, this is.
Oh, you're fine, man.
I'm at work, so I just want to make sure.
No problem.
Do valuation. Valuation and equity. Okay. Estimated value, I would do $400,000 and less. So estimated value.
This one, right? No?
No.
Where am I? Am I in the wrong one?
This is the first
Here we go,
one.
right here. This one?
Yeah, I would do 0 to 400,000.
There we go. Okay, let's apply this filter. Perfect. 18,000. So what we'll do is select 5,000 from here. And what I need from you, Harvey, if you can message us your email you'd like this to come from or go to, we will email you this as soon as we get it downloaded after we've pulled it.
Should I put my email in the chat or should I?
Perfect. You can actually private message that to us.
Okay. Sounds good, guys.
Good?
I really appreciate it.
For sure, man. Hey, thanks for hopping live with us. Do you have any other questions? I know we have 3 minutes left. Do you have a question for us at all we can answer before we go on?
You guys answered. I think I'm a little more confident on at least trying and attempting for creative deals. And worst case scenario, I know who to get in touch with.
For sure, yeah, man. And if you haven't yet, make sure you shoot Nick a text message just so we have your information. Did you get that? Did you get that number written down?
Yeah, I'll look it up in the chat.
Perfect. Yeah. Just make sure you message us your email so we can send that out.
Sure.
Thanks, Harvey. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, thank you guys. You guys have a nice day.
Have a good day, man. Cool.
Awesome.
So we're going to pull that list. We'll get that sent over to Harvey here. Nick, should we answer one more question? What are you thinking? We have
Yeah, let's answer 1 or 2 more questions.
Perfect. Not a problem. So here's one from John Pham. If the seller refinances, does that change the recorded sales date on batch driven?
No, because it's technically not a sale, not a new sale date, because sale date only is updated or recorded once property changes hands. So if they refinance, the only thing it would change is their equity amount.
Awesome. All right. And let's see. All right. Has everybody here? So we have quite a few people on here. I just want to know, has everybody here texted Nick yet? That's really what I want to know. I want to make sure that everybody's, abusing Nick and making sure that his phone is just blowing up right now. So if you guys have not texted Nick, shoot Nick a text message now. That goes straight to his iPhone. You guys can see he's looking at his phone.
I only got 7 texts so far.
How many?
7.
7 text messages, guys. You guys need to shoot a text message to Nick. So it's 480-819-9295. There you go. AH sent you one. Cool. Perfect. All right. So we have Frederick has asked 2 questions here. Let's see what we can do. Hello. I wanted to know structure repayment to hard money in the first position and a private lender in the second. If you buy the house sub 2, rent and hold.
How to structure repayment for hard money in the first position and a private lender. So what are you, okay, so you're just planning on buying and holding them. So for us, what we do is when we do wholesale deals, a lot of that money goes back into it, where we can wipe out a private lender as well as hard money. And for sub 2s, we don't do anything with really hard money, but I think your question is just repayment for loans, private money, hard money. So our wholesale business, a lot of the profits that we get, we put that back into wipe out lenders. So that's just the way that we prefer to do it. And it of course depends on how you structure your private money and hard money. But yeah, our wholesale business always goes back into paying off those loans.
Perfect. Yeah, and Robin Hurt even put it on here. 7 is not enough text messages. If you guys are not using your chance to text Nick and to pick his brain, we are trying to help you guys close deals. We want you guys to be, successful. This is the whole point. We're trying to go give and give back to all of you guys, just because of the love and support that we've gotten from working with Pace and Cody. So they're true go-givers, and we're trying to do that the same on this YouTube. So, do you have any final words to say, Nick? I know we're at 101, and I know I need to drink some more water here. Do you have anything else to add in?
No, I just appreciate everybody coming in. Feel free to reach out to me. You guys have my phone number. If you guys submit anything to our Shoreby link, that goes directly to me. So I'm more than happy to help talk to sellers. I'm more than happy to run comps. I'm more than happy to structure your deals. So yeah, again, what we're trying to put off into the community is that we don't just want to buy your deals. We don't just want to joint venture your deals. We want to actually help shape you into an investor to where you can consistently do deals and you can build a business out of something that, you may need help on. So feel free to reach out to me at any point in time. If it's, actually about doing deals, or if it's just about how to set up systems or mindset or anything, you guys can reach out to me. So it doesn't have to just be if you have a deal.
Perfect. Yeah, guys. And if this was beneficial to you, go into that creative financing with Pace Morby. Let us know that this was helpful. You can comment on the thread in there. You can just make a post about it. If there's specific things that you guys would like us to cover next week on Friday, definitely ask them there. As you can see, we are paying attention to all of this. Kelly's pulling the questions that you guys post. We see them. Nick, I think I'm going to do this really quickly. Nick R. Newling is your Instagram?
Yeah.
Perfect. And then mine is Carol the Ginger. If you guys didn't notice, I'm a redhead. So these are our Instagram handles. You guys can message us on there. So Nick R. Newling on Instagram, and then mine is Carol the Ginger. I'm really professional, obviously. Message us if you guys have any questions. You can kind of see what we post. I know Nick posts books that he reads. If you guys have questions that you'd like us to cover next week, we can do that. Let's make this the best YouTube channel that we can on Fridays. We'd love to help you guys out any way that we can. So thank you guys for coming on live. Yeah, definitely make sure you hit that Shoreby link. We do have a meetup next Wednesday, which I probably will not be going to. Nick will be. Wednesday, we are in Apache Junction. So get on our Instagram pages. You guys can see where we'll post that. You guys can go meet Nick. We're going to have pizza. We will walk you through a fix and flip. Anna will be there. Cody's probably going to be there. Come ask questions. It's out in Apache Junction, just outside of Phoenix. Thank you guys for coming live today. Tell your friends. We'd love to see you again. So have a good day, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.